everybody. I'm Barbara Anthony, the Undersecretary of Consumer Affairs and Business Regulation for Governor Patrick, and I'm thrilled to be here today in New Bedford. This is our first combination Consumer Day and Shred Day. I know that there have been several shred days. New Bedford is a great shredding city, very, very aware of making sure that their residents are protected from identity theft, and we're just very happy to be able to partner with them today to combine these two events. So first of all, I want to acknowledge some people whom you're going to hear from shortly. First of all, I want to thank the Mayor, Don Mitchell, for his cooperation and partnership in this endeavor, and you're going to be hearing from his Assistant Chief of Staff, CHRISTINA Connelly. I also want to thank MARCI, PINA-CHRISTIAN, the Human Services Coordinator for Neighborhood Outreach and Human Relations at the Department of Community Services right here in New Bedford, for partnering with us today on our combined Consumer Shred Day. And I want to thank a big shout out to Mandy Rinaldi, who's here on stage as well. She's the sales manager at Dock Shredding out of Rentham, and I want to thank their office manager, Cheryl Payne, who helped to make this possible. They're going to be here today from now, and they've been here this morning till 1:30. So bring your pile of documents that contain your bills and all that other stuff that you don't want to put in dumpsters, and this free shredding is right here. I also want to thank Neighborhood Housing Services of the South Shore and their director, Brian Moriarty, who was here helping us sponsor this event. And my office and Brian's office are going to be sponsoring a foreclosure workshop in New Bedford. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Finally, I want to thank Steve Fulcino, who's the director of the New Bedford Free Public Library. This is a magnificent building. I feel like I'm in Rome. If it wasn't for the cars, I look at these pillars. And being Italian, I feel like I'm home. So it's really a terrific, magnificent building, and it's wonderful to be here. I want to thank him very much. So I think many of you are familiar with my office, the Office of Consumer Affairs. We have two missions. We help to educate Massachusetts consumers, and we try to maintain a fair and competitive marketplace for Massachusetts businesses. Several times a year we go on the road and hold consumer days in various cities. We've been in Springfield and Worcester, we've been in Cambridge. Today we're here in New Bedford, and what we do on these days is we have representatives from all of the agencies that are in the umbrella of my office. And they are here today handing out literature and able to answer questions from citizens and consumers here in New Bedford. And I want to thank all of them for being here. From the Division of Banks, any questions about any kind of financial service products, and also the Division of Banks has been instrumental in obtaining additional stays for foreclosures for many residents of the Commonwealth, including many people here in New Bedford. Our Division of Insurance, if you have any issues involving auto insurance, home insurance, health insurance, life insurance, long-term care insurance, whatever it is, problems with insurance companies or agents or just information, our Division of Insurance is here to help. Our Division of Standards is here. A big shout out to them. Those are the folks who keep all of the weights and measures in the Commonwealth honest and accurate, whether it's your local supermarket or butcher shop or your gas station, and the octane levels you're getting and the price you're paying. Division of Professional Licensure is here. They oversee 385,000 professionals throughout the Commonwealth, so realtors, accountants, barbers, cosmetologists. These are the folks who help maintain professionalism in all of those industries. And the Department of Telecommunications and Cable is here. Any issues with telephone companies or cable companies, those are the folks that whom you want to talk to. They do a great job as well. So they'll all be here this morning to answer questions and give out information. And also in terms of my own office, we oversee the state lemon law. So any problems with automobiles, and also home improvement contractors, any problems with contractors, we are happy to give out information, take complaints, and see what we can do to be helpful. So the other part of today is Shred Day, and Shred Day deals with protecting ourselves from identity theft and making sure that our personal information, our bank account information, credit card information, health insurance information, Social Security numbers do not fall into the wrong hands. And the only way to do that is to shred those documents. And so what we do is we hold several shred days around the Commonwealth throughout the year, trying to raise awareness with respect to protecting our personal information. You know, we have strong laws in the Commonwealth that require that businesses protect our personal information, whether we're consumers or employees. But consumers need to be very vigilant as well, and that's what this is about. I just want to tell you quickly about a survey that my office did, and we held a press conference about it yesterday at the Federal Reserve Bank in Boston. And some of the results of that survey really deal directly with these issues of identity theft. So we asked consumers, and this is a statistically valid survey, so you can take the results and take it to the bank, so to speak. They're true and tried and true. We did a survey and we asked people how carefully they thought they managed their finances. Do I have competition?
You always have competition from seagulls.
Oh, the seagulls, my favorites. I'm glad I'm under the portico. Okay. So we asked consumers how carefully they thought they managed their personal finances. And 9 out of 10 Massachusetts consumers said that they believed that they managed their personal finances very well or pretty carefully. So that's 9 out of 10. Then we asked them, how many of you get a free credit report at least once a year that you're entitled to? 1 out of 2 get their credit report. So we have a disconnect there between people who say, I manage my finances very carefully. I'm very careful. I look at my bank account statement and so on. But 1 out of 50% of Massachusetts consumers don't get a copy of their credit report. Why should you get a copy of your credit report? Well, I know you're all out there nodding with me. I'm sort of preaching to the choir. So that you can see whether somebody has, first of all, are there any mistakes on it? Because those mistakes are important. They can affect whether you get credit from the lender or not, or whether we get credit from lenders or not. And secondly, has someone taken your identity and taken out credit in your name? And the only way you're going to know that is if you take a look at your credit report, because you're not going to get the bills. The first thing that people do when they steal our identity to take out credit in our name is they have our address and our telephone numbers changed. Because then they wouldn't be very good identity thieves, would they? If we got our bills right away and realized that somebody was ripping us off. So no, that's why we need to get a copy of our credit report. So one of the things that this survey taught us is that we have to do a better job of encouraging Massachusetts consumers to get a free copy of their credit report. Another thing our survey showed is that everybody shops online, and a lot of companies are familiar to us, but many are not. We found that only 1 in 5 consumers really do any research with respect to unfamiliar companies. And so, you know, in this age of technology where the internet is everywhere, where our shopping habits have changed so much, researching companies, calling my office, calling the AG's office or the Better Business Bureau, very important to do that before giving anyone our personal information. So, one last comment before we go on to our other speakers. I want to mention our foreclosure workshops. My office has sponsored around the state 14 of them. We've brought together 4,000 consumers with their lenders. All the major lenders in the country come in for these workshops, and the idea is that people who are facing foreclosure can seek modifications of their loans so that they can stay in their homes. Not everyone is successful, but we do our best to at least provide the opportunity and the encouragement for those modifications to take place. Brian Moriarty is going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So, with all of that, now it gives me great pleasure to turn the podium over to one of our partners in this event today, the Assistant Chief of Staff for Mayor John Mitchell, CHRISTINA Connelly. Christina?
Thank you, Barbara. I'm going to be very brief. I just really want to thank everybody for coming, for the Office of Consumer Affairs and for our Office of Community Services for putting this together and setting this all up in this great location, and we hope that the weather holds out for us. I want to thank Undersecretary Anthony and the representatives of the divisions within her office for being here to provide all this great information to New Bedford consumers. In this increasingly complex consumer landscape, information is power. There are more choices than ever in whatever market you're looking in, and it can be overwhelming and confusing, and so information is really the best tool we have to make good decisions with our money. The mayor, I also should say, the mayor can't be here today. He's out of town, so I'm welcoming you on behalf of him and thanking you all for being here on behalf of Mayor Mitchell. He is formerly a federal prosecutor, and as a federal prosecutor, put away a lot of bad guys who prey upon consumers and perpetuate fraud on them. So it's a very important issue for Mayor Mitchell. He's very aware of the importance of vigilance and education. And again, in this increasingly complex consumer landscape, it's more important than ever that we have regulation and oversight, and people like Barbara Anthony walking the beat to make sure we're protected. So again, I just want to thank you all for coming, welcome you to New Bedford. Hope you stick around a little bit after the day is over and enjoy all that we have to offer, and hopefully with some sunshine coming out instead of in the rain. Thank you again.
Thank you, Christina. And now, it's a great pleasure to present our partner in this endeavor today, MARCI PINA-CHRISTIAN, who is the Human Services Coordinator of the Department of Community Services for the City of New Bedford. MARCI?
Thank you, Secretary Anthony, and welcome to you and your staff to New Bedford. You could have chose any town to go to today to do this outreach, but you chose New Bedford, and we are happy for that. I am here also to say to you, today is Consumer Day in New Bedford, but it is Consumer Day every day in New Bedford, because we have a program at City Hall, the New Bedford Local Consumer Program. It's a program that is funded by the Attorney General's Office of Massachusetts, and I want to give a shout out to my friend and colleague, Diane Flattery, from the Attorney General's Office, who is seated here in the front. And we all work together today for the good of the consumer in education and outreach. Our program in New Bedford began in 2008, and in 4 years we are proud to say that we have been able to award $106,851 to consumers that we serve in 25 towns. We also, yes, you may applaud that. We also have received through our office, we are approaching 3,000 cases. So our consumers let us know that the work that we do is very important to them. And I would just encourage all of you, there's a wealth of information here today, materials, please pick them up. And if you want to file a complaint, I have complaint forms, and you may file a complaint today if you wish to do so. So again, thanks to all of you for being here. Many of you I've communicated with on the phone, and it's nice to put a face to the name. So welcome and enjoy the day.
Thank you very much, MARCI. And now it gives me pleasure to introduce our shredding partner today, Mandy Rinaldi, who's the sales manager of Doc Shredding.
Hi, first would like to thank everybody for having us here today, especially Consumer Affairs. Identity theft is a big deal, which is a good thing because it actually keeps me busy, but not a good thing on your behalf. I see lots of people's lives, businesses, you name it, across the board destroyed daily, which can be really heartbreaking, and it costs an awful lot of money and an awful lot of time to fix these issues once they do happen. As far as like throwing away mail, everyday mail that comes in the mail every day, the worst thing you can do is rip it up and put it in your trash, because now what you just did is you contained it. So when somebody's going through your trash, it does not take long to go through one bag of trash to take that out. So a lot of people don't really realize the amount of identity that happens just from your trash. As far as businesses goes, making sure they make the right decisions as far as their credit card information and all of that. What we do as a company with Doc Shredding is we come into a business, we even go all the way up as far as government, large government contracts, all the way down to the residents. There's some companies that don't choose to work with residents. We do. We definitely take that very seriously. We have 2 drop-off locations, one in Rentham, Massachusetts. We also have one in North Smithfield, Rhode Island. Either way, you could do it that way. We're more than welcome to come out to your house for as many as like 1 to 5 boxes. We don't have a problem with that either. And it's a whole heck of a lot cheaper than people may realize. If you have 10 boxes, it's a lot easier versus if you go out and you buy a shredder to shred through all that material, never mind your time, and you're gonna burn that thing out with 10 boxes. We can come in and just take care of that for you. We'll leave you with a certificate of destruction. We take full legal ownership over your documentation before we even leave your property. So we're here, and you guys can drop off any bags or boxes of shredding that you have. I believe it's 3 boxes per person that's for free. That definitely take that opportunity and get that stuff taken care of for you guys. We would love to do that. Thank you so much again for having us.
Thank you very much, Mandy, and thanks for the great job that you and your company do. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce Brian Moriarty, who's the director of the Brockton Foreclosure Office of Neighborhood Housing Services that also encompasses New Bedford. Brian.
Thank you. First, I want to say thank you to the Undersecretary. I've been a big fan of the Undersecretary. I remember her first on appearing with Susan Warnick on Channel 5, talking about consumer issues and how to protect yourselves against scams. And then later on, she came to Brockton on a Sunday, I believe, to do a tour of the city of Brockton, along with the Federal Reserve Bank, to see the devastation of foreclosure in that city. When I think of foreclosure, I think of 3 things. One is the social, personal aspect of foreclosure. It's losing your home. A home is where you have memories, you celebrate birthdays and holidays. It's where you raise your children. And just think about the thoughts and the pressures of losing your home. The other thing is dealing with the vagrancies of abandoned homes. Abandoned homes become places of theft, and I know fire and police departments do not like to see abandoned homes in their city. And the other thing I think of is about market value. Homes that are around foreclosed homes become, when you have an appraisal done, those homes are based upon what's selling around your house, and foreclosure value becomes market value, which depresses all of our market values. Now, historically, real estate has been a method of acquiring wealth for our families. I know my parents were able to do that for me, and I'm hoping to do that for my children. And real estate has cycles, and I personally believe that real estate will come back and can be an engine of creating wealth for families. As the Undersecretary mentioned, we are going to be doing a foreclosure event August 29th here in the city of New Bedford. We will be sending out notices. The major lenders, and they are Bank of America, Citi, Chase, GMAC, Wells Fargo, American Home Mortgage, and Freddie Mac will be here, and will be the lenders will be sending out letters, will be advertising in the Standard Times, on cable, and we hope you will have a chance to sit down face-to-face with your lender. The other thing is, what Neighborhood Housing Services does is homebuyer education. That's critical because there is a correlation. If you receive homebuyer education, you're much less likely to be foreclosed upon. So finally, I just want to say thank you to the Undersecretary. She's been a great advocate and in regards to the citizens of the Commonwealth, and again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brian. And so last but certainly not least, I also wanted to give a shout out to Diane from New Bedford, but I see she has, oh, there she is, okay. We go back a long time to Scott Harshbarger's office, and Diane has been in the trenches protecting consumers for a long time. Is it beginning to rain? Okay. I want to just acknowledge some members of my staff. Nicole Sanders O'Toole, who coordinated this event, who is our Director of Consumer Education, and Matt Cornellis, who is our Deputy Chief of Staff. I also want to recognize Jada Leonard Louise. Jada, where are you? For all of her hard work here. Ian Mabey, where's Ian? shout out, okay, Ian, Julian Smith. Julian, where are you? Right here. Okay, Nicole, Matt, Ian, and we have also some other people from our executive office. Jennifer Maldonado Ong, okay, Jen, raise your hand too. And all of our representatives from the Division of Banks, the Division of Telecommunication and Cable, Insurance, Division of Standards, and Professional Licensure. Raise your hands, all of you, and a shout out to all of them for all of their great work. So we can't do it without you, and let's try to stay between the raindrops for the rest of the day. And thank you again to the City of New Bedford for this opportunity to come here today and do this with you. Thank you. I think it's amazing how the skies open up.
That's like it's frightening. That's right.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thomas. I'm from your credit card company. We suspect several unauthorized transactions on your card.
Really? My credit card company?
Yes, and we care about your security, so we make house calls. Good news is you give me your social security number, and we'll take care of you.
Is that all you need?
Oh, not quite. We also need your PIN number. I forgot.
What's that on your back?
Nothing?
Oh, I get it. You're fishing for my personal information, right?
No.
So you can steal my identity, right?
No.
Then how come you have a fin sticking out of your back? Honey, get my tackle box and rod.
OnGuardOnline.gov has tips to help you guard against internet fraud, to secure your computer, and protect your personal information. To be more secure online, log on to OnGuardOnline.gov. Stop, think, click.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Happy birthday, dear Corinne. Happy birthday to you.
Your choice to recycle can affect more people than you think. Call Marissa at 508-979-1493 to request your free recycling bins. This message was brought to you by the City of New Bedford and UMass Dartmouth Charlton School of Business.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money.